from Crossroads Theater Company and asked the question, André, as an original member of Ain't Misbehavin, if you were asked to direct and choreograph it, how would you re-envision it? I said, how much time do you have, Maltby? Because this has been not only on my mind, but it's been in my heart for a long time. The first thing you have to do is find a company of 5 individuals who together are as distinctive a group of performers as the original company was in 1978. If we can do that, the hard work is done. And we found these 5 individuals who weren't born when we did Ain't Misbehavin in 1978, were not immersed in the legacy of Ain't Misbehavin, which appealed to me because I knew I would have to answer so many questions. And part of this beautiful experience I'm having now is being able to give it away, to really pass the mantle on to a deserving ensemble.
Every mole's blood is told, that means it's Joint Jumpin. Wow, I'm talking now. It's time to walk in, yes. Grab jump, let's talk, bro. Got me this Joint Is Jumpin. Give me the thing, very thin, and plenty in the kitchen. Who's that cooking, man? Woo, look at how it's twisting. Mercy, don't mind the hour. Cause I'm the power. I have everybody there. I mean it's Joint Jumpin.
Tyrone Davis Jr. I was looking for an actor who could bring these 2 elements to the character: elegance and danger. That's my 2-word definition of effective theater. It must be beautifully dangerous, and it must be dangerously beautiful. Now, any number of young men think he is the André character because he can move well. But that's not the essence of the character. The essence of the character is that in his seducing you, there is a threat that you may come away from this totally changed. That's also the beauty of the theater. The promise being, we'll challenge you, we'll change you, but we will not harm you. I had worked with Tyrone twice before, so I had already kept that in the Rolodex of my mind, that if I ever had to cast André, he was going to be my choice. So I wrote him down as the archetype as I was seeing other people audition, and no one outdistanced him. So it was one of those beautiful moments that you could call an agent and say, we are offering a role to your client. I cast Johmaalya as Armelia because she brought to the audition process such a pure sense of honesty and innocence and naivete. I cast Rheaume in the role of Nell because, like Nell Carter, she has a brass ensemble living in her throat. I cast Jacob as Ken because he comes with training from the classical world. And for too many years, people have mistaken the group of us as dancer singers. But the 5 people who came together in 1978 to do Ain't Misbehavin were actors who could create the illusion of song and dance. Jacob will tell you he can't dance. But when you see him on stage, wow, isn't he a great clown? And Zurin I cast as Charlaine because she is such a gorgeous creature, and I say that in the most sensitive way. When she opens her arms, she becomes a swan, a winged rose, if you will. We looked at her and everybody fell in love. So there was no question. another delicious reason why I accepted this invitation from Marshall. In 1978, our success notwithstanding, the critical response to Ain't Misbehavin was, what a powerful review. No, we went on to take the Tony in 1978 for Best Musical. Now, it is implicit in that award, Best Musical, that you have a book. And if you have a book, you're telling some kind of story. But if you actually look at Ain't Misbehavin on the page, it's 37 songs and a few instances of interstitial material, connective tissue. So how did that become a book? Well, it becomes a book because what that connective tissue is doing is sewing together seamlessly 37 monologues, if you will, 37 soliloquies, if you will, 37 songs that are telling the story of a group of 5 people and how they have interpersonally interacted during one of the greatest highlights in the history of American culture, the Harlem Renaissance, when we were making our impression on the world, when we were giving to the world our gift of American classical music, which is jazz. So in this seemingly dismissive review is evidence, indelible, indisputable evidence of the African American contribution to world culture. That's the book. An inexhaustible, endless book. Now, there's so many great artists who are represented in the Harlem Renaissance because it was the convergence of art from all aspects. Romeo Bearden comes to mind first. However, I had to keep in mind that I am re-envisioning Ain't Misbehavin, not replicating it, not duplicating it. And one of my favorite artists from that period is Aaron Douglas. And in every one of his paintings, there's always a symbolic representation of the North Star, which in the history of African American culture was our symbol of escape to freedom. So I wanted to repeat that message in Ain't Misbehavin. So we borrowed from Aaron Douglas in our production value and how the scenic design is coming together. And when I sit down and do my sermonizing, because I do a homily every morning before we work, and talk about where we're coming from and whose shoulders they're standing on, and why we must know where we come from in order to know where we're headed, etc. One of the questions I asked during the rehearsal, during the audition process, is after we had danced, after we had sweated, I said, now before you go, can you describe Ain't Misbehavin in one word? Very few people could. And very few people said the word I was looking for. But one person did. She said, joy. I won't scream now the way I did then, because it would knock over the camera, but I screamed, yes, joy. That is what informs not only the show Ain't Misbehavin, but it informed the life of the man on whose music this is based. That's why he will only live to be 39, but left an impression as if he had lived an entire century because of his gargantuan genius. And he was physically a giant, and his appetite for life was large. And he was a huge clown in the best sense of the word. And I know in the core of my being, but I also know historically, that one of the reasons why Fats Waller is the man, is the legacy that he is because he knew that in order to thrive, in order to survive, in order to prevail, His most effective tool was to laugh in the face of adversity. We think we know about adversity in the 21st century, but you tried growing up at the turn of the 20th century, being the child of a strict minister and a homemaker. No, there isn't much freedom in that, so you have to find your freedom in other ways, and he found it at the piano. He was born to be a stride pianist. He had a 10-inch span from his thumb to his little finger, and those fingers were fat. And he lived life with no regrets, and he gave us a treasure of memories in his songs.
Away.